Nigeria has an Igbo problem. There is a secret memo in government that whenever we want to take charge in this country, be careful of the Igbo. Don't give them position. Don't give them opportunity. Otherwise, they will over. For an Igbo man to survive in Nigeria, as it is currently put together, Nigeria must break.
Wait, the meeting you had with Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
You are telling us now that Nnamdi Kanu...
Don't you know what happened, the cop program in this country, where people were slaughtered and their bodies and their heads placed inside the train going down south? Even our parents.
Wow.
Tell us. One thing I've told people is that you are looking at Igbos as the only people who want to secede. But who in this country today has not mentally seceded from Nigeria? So any country that is perpetually carrying out systemic injustice against will lose more citizens than they should have. The reason why countries that are work is because citizens believe in their country. And you cannot force that belief. It has to come through social justice.
True.
If anybody in this country is working in a bank and he has 10 million naira and somebody say you can get into Canada, he will leave the next day.
I swear.
Is that not secession? What of secession is that you leave a country,
yes.
You say to that country goodbye.
And not do it again.
You get to the other country, you bow down, you touch the soil.
Anything you go do.
And then you renounce your citizenship of the country you are coming from. Is that not what they call secession?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to look at the number of people that have seceded in that Japa syndrome, there are more than all the Igbos combined together who are asking to leave.
My problem with our people is that sometimes we act as if we are dumb. Yes, we act as if we don't think. We act as if we don't reason, like we don't evaluate things. Sometimes we really do like that. We must have seen this video, or a lot of people must have watched this video, all right? Yet, some people will still come out and be, forcing themselves to do something that they know that is not going to work. Yes, you will see now, somebody will still come out and tell you, I want to be president. I want to make Nigeria better. A presidential aspirant has come out to tell you that there is a memo against Igbo, and it is there in Aso Rock. Yes, it is there in Aso Rock that they are not allowed to be appointed in any key position. A presidential aspirant saying that. That means, and he is saying it with full confidence. That means he knows what he's saying. This one is not any conspiracy. It's not any form of, trying to make a trending video. He say it with every conviction, meaning that is true. There is a conspiracy against us there that we are not even allowed to be appointed in any key position. Somebody now will come out and say, I'll be president. I'll be house of... And then some people will also come out and be shouting, oh, 2027, we are going to vote. We are going to vote. 2027, I'm going to work with this person. We are going to beat them. I laugh in China. The thing is that it just seems as if we don't understand what is happening. What is before us? What is before us? Happening before us. Yet, it seems as if we are blindfolded, that we cannot see clearly. I will just allow you to watch this video, please, so that you will hear it from the horse's mouth. Because if I start to analyze it now, some of you will say, what do I know? Hear it from the horse's mouth. And in case if you don't know, this man, Showore, is a presidential aspirant in Nigeria. He has contested for Nigerian president here in Nigeria. And so that you know that at least he knows to some extent all the things he has said. He's just very aware of all the things he is saying. All right. So please, I will allow you to watch the video. But as you are watching it, please, I beg you, do not forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification button. I beg, that will be like bell. Just press them so that you get notified anytime I upload a video. Okay. For now, just watch it, Jeje.
Talking about Biafra.
Yes.
You had a meeting with Nnamdi Kanu, and that sparked, in fact,
New York.
Yeah, I think you got arrested after that meeting. People would say, you people are not fighting the same cause. You are fighting to be the president of the country. Yeah. He is fighting to divide the country.
Yes.
People would say, why would you be seen in such a meeting? Would you like to clear that
You
air?
see, anybody that lacks any sense of consciousness would ignore social movements. That is the problem with Nigerian leadership. You cannot have a country in which there are 251 tribes or languages, and one big section says, we are not satisfied with here. And you don't talk to them. You don't understand them. Then you are not a leader of that country. The reason I met him was to understand first what his struggle was about, which I knew already. And secondly, to also advise him on the way that I think we could all work together. And thirdly, to send a message to the Nigerian people that we can walk through our differences, even at these levels. And I was surprised that, contrary to what some people are saying, he did not want Nigeria to break up. He wanted a Nigeria where the Igbo man can survive. But for an Igbo man to survive in Nigeria, as it is currently put together, Nigeria must break.
Wait, the meeting you had with Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
You are telling us now that Nnamdi Kanu, from what you understand from the meeting with him, he does not want Nigeria to break, to divide.
No, he said clearly that it is too late for Nigeria to come together. But he gave his conditions. We live streamed the meeting now. It's online.
Okay.
And part of it was live streamed. Some of them were private. But he said that he feels that if Nigeria were to respect certain protocols, including a referendum inserted in the constitution, and he still says it even now in court, that if he's released, he will go back and end the bloodshedding. The bloodshedding is in that part, and that a conversation can. He says that in every court appearance, that he's being held is not helping the opportunity to have a conversation about whatever it is, the unity you are begging for. But you see, Nigeria has a problem. And I've always said, Nigeria has an Igbo problem. And I'm not saying it to please people who are known as Igbos. But the moment they decided to take the action they took in 1967 to 1970, the war, Nigeria, having won that war in their eyes, never forgave the Igbos. That is the reality. And if I were to be president of Nigeria today, the first thing I would do is to head to the Southeast and apologize to them for the war. Part of it is that I'd never participated in it. And I cannot continue to fight a war that I did not engage in. And then ask them, what do we want?
So are you saying that the federal government has, like even before
successive governments,
yes,
they've always had this anger against the Igbos?
There is a secret memo, I don't know where it is located in government, that whenever we want to take charge in this country, be careful of the Igbo. Don't give them position. Don't give them opportunity. Otherwise, they will overrun. It's a secret. It's a well-known fact. Even our parents, tell us, Igbo. You understand? Some of them even say unconsciously. They even say it on radio shows in this country. So don't let us lie to ourselves, because except we bring this out openly and discuss, it's a taboo that we have refused to discuss.
True.
We are not going to solve the problem. It is the reason why the federal government of Nigeria feels that in 2024, detaining Nnamdi Kanu against all the court orders, against all the court rulings, is the only way to go. You know, I was detained in the DSS place for 5 months.
Yes.
There is nothing there to detain anybody for. The place is not even functioning. The DSS headquarters. Yes, is it the same DSS people who are watching BB Nigeria from morning to night? No, it's true now. I was there with them for 5 months. I've said this publicly. So all the institutions in this country are broken down. But let's get back to the reality. One thing I've told people is that you are looking at Igbos as the only people who want to secede. But who in this country today has not mentally seceded from Nigeria?
mentally seceded.
Who has not left, except those who are trapped. If anybody in this country is working in a bank and he has 10 million naira and somebody say you can get into Canada, he will leave the next day.
I swear.
Is that not secession? What of secession is that you leave a country, you say to that country goodbye,
and not do it.
You get to the other country, you bow down, you touch the soil, and then you renounce your citizenship of the country you are coming from. Is that not what they call secession? So, if you want to look at the number of people that have seceded in that Japa syndrome, there are more than all the Igbos combined together who are asking to leave. And in the process of keeping Nigeria united, we have let go of more citizens than the country should have. Yes.
So you think if they had, because I mean, from the last thing you said now, you say in the process of trying to keep Nigeria united,
yes,
we have let go of more citizens than we should have.
Of course.
So if we had allowed for the division or secession of Nigeria, most of our citizens that are outside would not have been outside.
No, you see, it is not the secession I'm talking about.
Okay, what are you talking about?
It is what led to the war that we did not address.
Okay.
And what happened after the war. Why is it that Nigeria hasn't been able to overcome the Biafran problem? It's because Nigeria never addressed what the Biafrans were asking for before the war.
What were they asking for?
They were asking for to be treated not as second-class citizens in this country. Don't you know what happened? They called pogrom in this country, where people were slaughtered and their bodies and their heads placed inside the train going down south? Yes, from the different parts of the north. Are we ignoring that? So
that happened
before the war.
Before the war, that's what they call pogrom.
History.
You know, people who were settled, doing well, they were slaughtering them and sending their bodies and their heads inside calabash and sending on trains that was heading east.
Were they Easterners?
They were Easterners.
Yes,
Why are you asking me? It's there in, go and Google it now. So you expect that will happen, and then there was a war that eviscerated 3 million people. Wow. And when the war was over, you just say, oh, nobody was vanquished, nobody was victorious. And then
3 hours.
But you still kept a memo and said, don't trust them.
Collect people money,
yes,
give them 20 pounds.
And then you took their properties. Ojukwu did not get back JAMB until 1992. Now his father's house, that is known as JAMB headquarters here in Ikoyi. It was after he came back from Ivory Coast. It was Babangida, I think, that gave him back their property. So any country that is perpetually carrying out systemic injustice against will lose more citizens than they should have. The reason why countries that are work is because citizens believe in their country. And you cannot force that belief. It has to come through social justice.
True.
It has to come through economic justice. Why is it that, my children can feel like they're US citizens, even though they were born there? It's because before they let you take them out of the hospital, they must take all their immunity,
everything,
injections. You cannot put them at home and not go back to the doctor to go and complete it. And when it's time for school, they cannot be out of school for 2 days. And you'll be saying that, no, I want Shikira to go and be selling pure water. He will go to jail. So, and then when it's time for them to go to college, there is loan, there is grants, You
are talking far. If you born them in the hospital, you cannot even go home with that child if they've not approved you to go home with the child.
Not only that, you cannot even throw your child up in the hospital the way we do it here. Now we just start playing with your child. You can't. You're not allowed to just let your child fly in the air. They say you want to ruin their brain. When we were born, we see happens now. They will put hot water in your ass. They will be murmuring. They will be using hot, rag to be pushing your head together. In the process, maybe that's where they shift some of our brains.
Now why not correct?
So it is fundamental that we understand that what makes people feel like citizens is what their country has to offer to them. And then they in turn would offer something back to their country. Sometimes their life.
Yeah.
And it's a question people ask me, why would you have all this life and come back and be suffering here? I said to them, we are built differently. Some of us, this is how we've designed our convictions. There are some of us that even fight for country we have never been to before. I fight for Palestinians. You know, I fight for South Africans. Why can't I fight for my own people? Nigerians. 200 million people on the largest continent. On October 1, we had the protest. It was supposed to be a nationwide protest. The police were afraid to kill people because they killed in August.
Hi.
Yes, a lot of people. But do you know the number of people that died in a boat capsized in Niger? 160. So is it revolution that killed them? But it's the condition of their country that led to that situation. Because if Nigeria were to be functioning, it's preventable death. I'm not saying that people will not die, even if the country is the best. I mean, Florida just went through a major flood.
And they're still going.
People died there.
They just went
but the reason why you are not panicking about it is because, you know, they have a government that at least, you know, will bring helicopters, will bring rafters and rescue people. I'm sure that they're even rescuing cats now.
Yeah.
So that's how important the life of a cat is to them than our life is important to our government.
Chai.
So you could be in any situation and die. Anything can kill you in this country. A whole luxurious bus can fly into the river. Nobody is even making any attempt to rescue them. So it is not the fear of death. It's not the reason why we should not advance a different political agenda.
So as you do now, you know they fear death.
Well, it is not something I argue anymore because I never knew, and I'm sure you hear this from a lot of people, that I will live to become 50. I never thought I would live to become 30 years old. Yes. When I was living in the University of Lagos, death was hanging all over me. You know, because I wasn't only after the military. It got to a point we also had to fight internally against cultism on campus. And I was attacked by cult gangs on campus. So you know, when you open the face of different, you know, enemies, you know, around you. So, but I have lived a life in which I don't even watch my back anymore because it's no longer necessary. I can't protect myself. And I do not believe that anybody can protect.
You know, also worried for your family if you're not protecting yourself. How about your family? Because if they don't feel reach you for here, they go feel see reach your family.
But you can reach my family. But those ones at least have a general belief that they can be protected by their own
government
leaders, their own country. But let's also be very global in our thinking. That the struggle for liberation, when it gets to a point, can reach you anywhere. I wanted to mention earlier that when I met Nnamdi Kanu in 2019, he said to me, "Are you going to Nigeria?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Are you mad?" I just left Nigeria. They came to kill me in my house. They killed 28 people.
Wow.
And I remember telling him, I said, if you are still doing this Biafran thing, you are not safe anywhere. Because there's a global interest to keep Nigeria the way it is. So
global interest.
Oil can keep flowing in direction of multinationals. There are people whose interest is to make sure Nigeria doesn't progress so that the black man will not find his feet globally. So anybody who is also fighting them here, you are fighting that global economic interest. And that is what was clear to us during Ken Saro-Wiwa's death. The world could have saved Ken Saro-Wiwa. Even Mandela refused to make the call to Abacha. Or he said he called Abacha, Abacha didn't pick. All of them could have made that call and said, look, if you touch this guy, we are going to give you hell. But because, you know, Ken Saro-Wiwa went and pressed the red button, which is oil. Do you know why? Ogoni land has over 62 billion cubic feet of gas.
62 billion.
This is not even oil. You know,
gas.
Because what most people don't understand is that oil is going out of business. But gas is going to be around for a long time.
Yes.
So that is what they're interested in protecting. And the guy who starts saying, we own the thing, I would say, what's your problem now, guy, man? and they finished him. Global conspiracy. It's the same thing they did to Kanu now. How do you think that Kanu was kidnapped in Kenya and brought to Nigeria, and there's no manifest of the plane that brought him to today? Even judges cannot ask for it. How did he get to Nigeria from Kenya? Who was the person who abducted him from the underground garage? Who was he expecting that made him to drive privately to that place and got kidnapped? Who are the people that kidnapped him? Because the Kenyan government came to court and said, we're not aware. We don't know who did this. You cannot. Is it possible to fly a plane, a private jet, out of an airport without two governments getting involved? How can it be more secretive? It's because there are global conspiracies involved too. And it was as if I was being prophetic. The day he was brought back, I was at the Federal High Court. No, it was Court of Appeal, and they said, Kanu has just been brought back to Nigeria. I said, how? They put a hood over his head, even in court. I ran down there. Before I got there, they had already...
We have seen it. What do you think? Hey, Nigeria. Anyways, it's well. God will see us through. Drop your comment on the comment section. And please do not forget to, subscribe and turn on your notification button so you get notified anytime I upload a video. All right? For now, I would say may God bless you.